The following podcast contains spoilers and explicit language. Listener discretion is advised.
Sun is shining in the sky.
Hello and welcome to Animated Anarchy, the show that takes a critical look at animated films of all kinds and we determine the good from the bad. Hello, my name is Andrew Dickman and I am also with...
A very confused person
Yes,
today.
a very confused...
Michael Ruocco.
That's right, that's your name.
I hesitated. I actually forgot what my name was.
Well, I could have made up a name for you. I mean, you could have been anyone.
Yeah.
So, but we are fairly confused today because we have a rather full house right now. My studio. I'm using air quotes right now. You can't see that because yeah. But yes, we are very full up. It is going to get nice and cozy in here because right now, right here in our show, I am joined by Zoe Boss and also Aaron Warner and Jacob Strick. All right. That was the greatest audience we have ever had. We are filming this live at the Improv,
live
which
at UCB
is the venue
Sunset.
that we decided to to have this live on stage. Nobody's here, so
it's like in the movie we just
like in the movie we just watched. Yeah.
Or we just have like a bunch of like blank silhouettes just staring at us.
No, we have the
blueberries.
anti-grav crowd where there's just a ribbon of people in all orientations in space.
Sound and fury signifying nothing.
Yeah, so we have like a very this was a fun night. So we watched Rock and or Rule, or in as it's known as in his Canadian title, Rock and Rule.
Actually, it also has a title outside of North America, Ring of Power. I read that somewhere.
Really?
Yeah.
What is the
Wait,
ring?
like
ring
Lord of the
monster?
Rings?
Where was Sonic?
Where was the ring?
What was the ring?
Well, wait, it was
There
Mock's
was
ring.
a ring in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mock had
well,
a ring full of coke.
and that gave him power.
Yeah.
So, all right. So
Maybe it's
it all fits in the end.
Maybe it's the pentagram-shaped ring that the plot device comes out of at the end.
First off, this is probably going to be the most off-the-wall description of a movie that we have ever done on this show. I mean, considering the last show that we've done,
It takes 5 people to discuss this film.
yes,
a village.
we needed I decided on this show because I've seen this movie before, and while I like it, I'm still at the end considering what the hell did I watch?
I'm in the exact same boat.
Yeah, Mike, you almost left.
I almost was like, you know what? Why don't we have the guests do it? I'll just sit in the back and laugh at them.
It's like a David Lynch film. You
like,
like it, but
you've
you're
got
not
it-
quite certain you get it.
You've got enough people here.
Yeah.
But Rock and Rule is a picture by Nelvana.
Based on
one of the only Nelvana feature films, or
They've
was there
done
another one?
ones later.
Yeah,
Did they do
like
other
the
ones?
Care
This is
Bears
I thought
movie.
Boulder was a
Well, the thing is
Nelvana
they-
feature, but
Wait, who's
Yeah, go
talking?
No.
Like this was Nelvana's passion project, and to make up for the cost, they had to take on, I think, what they referred to as greeting card work. Like the Care Bears film.
Oh, right.
I think, and also like the Care Bears
All the
series,
Hallmark stuff,
like,
right?
and all the TV series. Like Nelvana, unfortunately, became famous for doing all the stuff that they really didn't want to do.
Season 1
Yeah.
of Inspector Gadget. They did.
Oh
with Duke.
yeah.
yeah, right.
Did Nelvana have any involvement in like the American Greeting stuff, the Strawberry Shortcake?
Yeah, I
cartoons
think
back in the
so.
day? Was
Yeah,
that them?
I think that was part of it. So Nelvana was very well known in like TV animation, more so than features.
Yeah.
In fact, was this the start to their animation studio or not?
I feel like
I'm
they
not
were.
sure.
I feel like
I should have done research for this.
They were doing short form content, Devil and Daniel Mouse, obviously.
Yes.
Which we
Which I
watched
keep
that
calling
too.
Daniel and Dame Mouse for some reason.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis the mouse.
Daniel the damned mouse.
It's great in anything he does. It's
So method. My God.
He just falls into any role.
I will say, Rock and Rule does feel like it has early work written all over it.
It certainly does, but honestly, really well done first work for what it is. I mean, I've seen first work from studios before, and they're just not up to snuff.
But is it art?
But is it art?
Well, it's certainly
yes.
it's certainly confident in what it's doing.
Yeah.
What is it that it's doing? Well, we sort of touched on this before. It's sort of a heavy metal riff.
Yeah.
They're definitely going for that.
Mature.
They're mature.
Air
Like,
quotes.
again, air quotes.
Because
It's
they're
not
mice.
for kids, guys.
There are nipples, is what we're trying to say.
on their backs. It's
Yeah.
really weird.
Through shirts.
Yeah.
There's
They're totally ripped.
there's a lewd
There's a lot of
tattoo.
butts.
Yeah,
There are so many butts. in
so many
this.
butts. There's one scene with a butt that may have been breasts. I couldn't tell.
It's breastica booblica, chestier, mammular, tubular, boobular, fun. All right, so
Put 'em
yeah,
together.
this is like I guess an interpretation of a metal album.
Yeah.
Because it's set in an apocalyptic world where all humans are dead. And they have
Good.
been replaced by mutated rats, cats, and dogs.
But that's another story.
But that's another story.
happened a long time ago.
There was a war. All humans were wiped out. There's an opening text scroll. There
There are several.
Yeah, there was some kind
Yeah,
of
once one
And-
showed up,
and,
the others
Orion
showed up
font
afterwards.
from the Orion
Yeah.
studio.
There was a war. The war ended in the destruction of all human life, and sometime after the war, and the war seems highly irrelevant to what's going on.
Yeah.
But sometime after the war, street animals, as they're called, which is specifically
Street rats.
which is specifically just dog, cats,
Aladdin
and
got
rats,
really mutated.
have taken over the world and are now the dominant sort of amalgamated species.
Yeah, they're the dominant creatures of this. All basically, well, they look like malformed Goofy movie characters in a sense.
They do.
And I mean, some of the designs are really interesting, and others seem like
And geometric.
yeah. I almost feel like almost every animator on this movie probably made a character design, and they said, like, hey, I like that, let's put this in, and it just mixed it up, and because all of the characters kind of look like they came from different things.
Yeah.
Especially like the non-playable characters that show up in the background.
The
like
NPCs, if you will.
Yes.
There's a really weird design choice where the nose snouts that stick out of the face more bend downwards.
Yeah.
And it's really unappealing.
They kind of
it's
look
more.
And sometimes it's like a human nose, but with
Yes.
the dot at the end.
This is like somebody
like-
dressed up and walked on set.
If anyone remembers the Brothers Flub or the
Oh my god, yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
there's some very Brothers Flub noses on some of these characters.
Yeah, that's really true.
Or that guy from the Raccoons. What was the?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or
yeah.
Was that a Canadian? That was a Canadian production too, right?
They're all in it together.
with us.
They're all into those Canadians.
Oh my god, remind me the headmaster from Ah Real Monster.
Oh,
Crom,
The Grumble.
the
The
Grumble.
Grumble.
that's a very gromulent word.
There's some
It's a
very
very Grum
there's some
later became the
grombly
headmaster.
snouts.
Which is like triangles coming out of the end of snouts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cones.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's not, and it's not entirely appealing.
yeah.
I mean,
That is when
it's
all
like,
monsters.
no,
does
but
it?
in the context of rock and roll, it's almost distracting.
Yeah,
Like you said.
I gotta say the worst offender in the snout department is just the worst snout. Is bottom 10 snouts of 2016.
The top 5 snouts of rock and roll. We're gonna count them down.
I
Here
gotta
we
say,
go.
one of the worst offending snouts in this movie is Omar, who's the
Yeah.
male lead.
Yeah.
He just has this.
Everything about him is disturbing, though.
He just
kinda,
has
because-
this very clearly kind of rotoscoped human body, but this half a sandwich just sticking out of his face with the crust cut off.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
I will
he has
add.
square eyes. like-
Yeah.
If you are interested and would like to know more about the snouts in this film,
You can go to your local
a couple
library.
friends of mine made a zine called Thanks a Lot, a 12-page rock and roll zine, and there is a wonderful page.
It's a chart.
It's a chart. It measures the
noses, the snouts.
Yeah, and sort of the...
I think it's the chart of fuckability.
Yeah.
And I think Omar is like just past reasonable. I think Angel she's perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
Well, it ends with Mylar.
She's got Roxanne.
Well, that's how Mox does
Mylar
it.
is like impossible monster.
Like,
or something.
if you want. It's awesome. Everyone should Google it. It's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks a lot.
What's
It's
it called?
called.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
All right.
thanks a lot for
which is what everyone's going to be saying when they find it.
Just out of curiosity, I want to take a consensus among the Jewish members of our panel today.
Yes.
Was Mylar offensive? Because I feel like maybe he was.
He was offensive,
whole
but not
movie
for
was
that
offensive.
reason.
I think in that he was offensive as he was the greasiest person in the entire. But he was like the mustache twirling kind of like yeah.
He reminded me a lot of Walt Disney.
Yeah, I think he's sort of a take on Mickey. I mean, he's slimy Mickey.
He does have like
or Mortimer, possibly.
He does have like the big Mickey-esque mouse ears, and he does have the tiny thin Disney mustache.
Yeah.
So I could see I could very clearly see if like
And remember when Mickey used to wear that pantsuit?
Yeah.
I honestly. Maybe it was a coincidence, but I honestly, I feel like he's just like, the greasy...
This is a film where anything can happen.
And there are no coincidences.
Yeah, everything happened for a reason.
Every frame,
But you can't understand what that reason is until about the 5th time you've seen the movie.
Every frame is lovingly handcrafted.
Let the music in you.
Sorry.
I forgot about the song goes on.
Love and sweat and meat. Meat went into this film.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's start with The Devil and Daniel Mouse.
Okay.
yeah, The Devil and Daniel Mouse was a short that Nelvana made before this.
Prototype.
Which I guess it was like a prototype.
It's based on
the beta.
It's based on the story of the devil and Daniel Webster.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
And also Ben and Me. No.
And also Mac and Me.
Yeah. And
Tale of Desperation.
it was. I guess it was like.
One, McGee and me.
There have been like a couple Nelvana TV specials. Like there was the Alien Thanksgiving one. I remember
That one was awful.
that one was there was a robot one. I can't remember that one either.
Most people can't either.
The robot and Daniel.
It was about
Robot.
the robot and Daniel
Robots.
It was all about robots. But yeah, Devil and Daniel Mouse was, like you said, the story of the Devil and Daniel Day-Lewis
with a very heavily musical twist.
Sort of like folk music, like the 70s meets the early 80s.
Yeah.
Where
Wholesome wins
it's
out.
like, oh, we can't make any more money with our folk music, man. We're no longer hip, and with it, we gotta be like superstars now. And the girl goes off, meets the devil, which is
When Daniel abandons her,
Daniel
right here.
abandons.
Yeah.
Stay right here in this spot.
he tells
Don't
her
move.
like a dog,
It just leaves her in a creepy
I'm
wood.
gonna go find money.
I'm going to sell the one thing we have left, my guitar.
Well, we don't really know that until later.
know.
He just like says like I'm gonna go find money and like walks off
For years.
We don't pretty much because we don't see him for a while.
It's a long walk to that pawn shop.
She is just left there in the middle of the woods, and then the devil who comes in, like
is amazing.
it's like Ursula as a man.
The devil.
But even hotter.
He looks like the red guy from Cow and Chicken.
He looks like
if it was a dinosaur.
Yeah,
Barney
me.
Barney the dinosaur meets the red guy.
He is the pink-skinned love child of the Figment and the big-lipped alligator from All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Yeah, and his every movement is very swishy, and like his fingers will trail as he moves his hand, and his mouth movements are just like. It's gorgeously animated, but in the same time, it's very disgusting.
He has a very
Which they
cute-
translated
it's
perfectly
very
to mock in the final movie.
They even kept a very.
I think it's the same animator.
It has to be.
It has to be because
similar
Yeah,
animator.
they move in the same way, and the mouth is very pointy. Yeah. Like it has more points in the lips alone than needs to be.
the
compared it to-
3D mapping.
Yeah,
I compared his
it's like
mouth.
they chiseled him.
I compared Mock's mouth to the Batman symbol.
Yeah,
mouth is
because
closed.
when he
Very
smiles,
accurate.
he basically has all of the lines of the
Batman
symbol.
symbol.
So he is mocked. Da-da-da-da-da.
So they did this special,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh my god, it's so passable and satisfactory. We should make it into a full-length movie." And somehow it turns
We had an
into...
audience.
By the way, the Devil and Daniel Mouse makes no sense because they get into the trial scene at the end, and they don't have a legal defense or
I think it makes perfect sense if you watch it 5 times.
no, untrue.
Listen.
That was an untruth.
You don't listen. You didn't
Just like in the
understand
movie.
the underlying message of the film.
Like
is
that
the music in your heart sets you free?
Like the classic story of the devil and
I'm gonna
Daniel
have that
Webster
stamped on me.
is Daniel Webster outsmarts the devil in this court case to throw out the contract, but in the Devil and Daniel Mouse, they just start singing a song in the middle of this kangaroo
Yeah, it's
court.
like,
No outs were smarted.
Yeah. It just
And there were so many technicalities
Can I
that,
just say
that Weaselbub hated.
That's the thing I like a lot more in Rock and Rule. Is the thing that saves the day is when Omar gives up his sort of need to be the solo singer.
Yeah.
And so I just like any film.
That's the only.
That's a spoiler.
What?
Yeah, spoilers. Jeez.
No, but I mean, like the
only
good
noble
one.
act
the
in
character has to
entire
make a decision.
film.
He doesn't trick Mock or the monster. He actually
It's
has
his
to
arc.
give up a part of himself.
Yeah,
I make it sound
I
a
think
lot
it's
more
an
important than
Rock and Rule accidentally has
his
an arc
pride.
for its main character. Totally on accident, it gives its main character an arc.
Anyway, either way, the Devil and Daniel Mouse has like a lot of cute designs to it. They have like a lot
And
of
they
interesting.
threw it right in the garbage. No.
It's cute, but at the same time, like what Aaron was saying, it doesn't really make any sense in the end. It's kind of like, we need to get out of this mess. How can we do it? Oh, we can't think of how to get out of this, so let's just sing a song.
The designs are almost like,
Songs
I
by
have
John
a bowl
Sebastian.
of sugar, and I'm going to eat it. And then you're like, oh, I don't like this anymore. I'm going to drink this hot sauce that represents Beelzebub. Oh, back to the sugar.
Yeah, and we should also note that the weasel, the fox, the gray fox
He's a weasel, but he looks more like a fox.
weasel.
The walks.
IR baboon.
Yeah. He is basically the devil's like
Sidekick.
yeah.
Towel boy.
Yeah, towel boy. And he has a
boy.
voice that cuts like a knife.
Yes.
That's just like it shaves you. You will have
Sweeney
less
Todd's
hair listening to him talk.
None of us have eyebrows anymore.
I don't want to peek the mic, but it's like it seriously was like a loud screeching.
Somewhere in the 1K range.
The voice actor was just a squeaky hinge.
Yeah. And
Like my laugh.
he got some. Yeah, he had some weird moments in that too, where he was like basically the guy that was keeping Daniel away from her, and he's like, nah, she don't want to see you no more.
Yeah,
and
the weasel has these morph sequences that also don't make sense because the weasel is just a lackey.
half of him is made of liquid.
Yeah,
It
he
makes
he
sense,
melts.
But he's like connected to Beelzebub, so that explains.
I just love that he
that.
always has 2 floozies that are constantly chewing next to him.
and added one more every time he's
Yeah.
seen again with another one. He's added another floozy to his
He
group.
appears with a bandaged nose for no reason at one point.
Yeah, that's true.
Did he do too much cocaine or something?
door knocker
probably.
turns into him.
He turned his head too far to the right, and one of
Oh
the
yeah,
chewing
he did the
broads
Ebenezer
next to him chewed his
Scrooge,
nose
like
off.
the whole like Jacob Marley thing with the knocker. It's
But
like-
it was broad daylight, so it was
Well,
very
like Icarus,
unconvincing.
his nose flew close to the sun.
Come back.
So yeah, the Devil and Daniel Mouse was like, it was an interesting.
Nothing.
It was it was an interesting nothing. That's a good way to put it.
There was an
actually.
attempt.
It was a good attempt.
You tried.
And
Well, the reason they probably
but-
got to make Rock and Roll is because of
because of this,
it can't be done. Give us money.
I wonder if there was an alternate, like, before Rock and Roll, there was going to be the feature-length Devil and Daniel Mouse, and then Heavy Metal was like, hello, and they were like,
Yeah.
let's make it really crazy now.
Heavy Metal was knocking, and he's just like, "Hey, have you heard about the word of metal?" It's like- and Yeah, it's like so we start off and we're in Ohmtown. O-Town? Ohmtown. O-H-M.
Yeah.
Town.
Which is just
Which I don't know what it represents.
It's a city of perpetual night.
I think it's a city
This is
that...
a very
The whole
dark...
movie is perpetual night.
It's got a
very
power
dark.
station.
I feel like Ohmtown is, unless you live in New York, it could be your town.
Yeah.
Because when I see it, I'm like, it's L.A., I think.
But then they have
most
New
of-
York, and then
Exactly,
you just realize, oh wait,
exactly.
that's New York.
I think
Yeah, like I said, unless you live in New York,
And they have
this movie's
Disneyland.
for
Well, they
you.
said it's 3 days in the movie. There's a scene where it's like, well, it's gonna take 3 days by car.
It's
get to New York.
Springfield
Yeah.
with the Simpsons.
so. It's what is it, Chicago or
I don't know. It's probably
Well,
LA.
it's supposed to be
Florida.
It's Oregon.
it's Atlanta.
It's hometown, guys. It's hometown.
I think it's Agoura Hills because when the power
No,
station
Jake,
overloads,
it's hometown.
they have these like globe street
Forget it,
lights
Jake,
that
it's
are
hometown.
very Agoura Hills.
Right.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this is basically to set up that this is an apocalyptic world. There are creatures that are, they're
You hesitate to call them creatures.
Well, the thing is that to me they don't look like mice, cats, or dogs.
They look
What
like all
cats
three.
were in the movie? I know
There were no cats in this
wasn't
movie.
yes, there is. There is a cat.
There's
it-
one.
There wasn't?
Yeah, during a scene in New York.
It's
there's
like a pan.
It's a trucking show.
Sorry. This
Get your-
movie
get
is
your
beyond...
board artist,
Grammar,
right?
it's important.
Know your
Yeah,
terminology.
there is a cat swipes the screen. There's a dog that gets
Takes
splashed
a
with water.
piss?
There's a rat. All food
Eating a hot
species
dog.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
They're the
It's like
real animals.
they're
So wait.
There was also a slimy
So what
bug
are the
man
main
I saw.
characters then? Because we've seen all three of them.
yeah, they're animals that have not evolved.
They're goofy people.
And then
Yeah.
there are the goofy people, which is really what they are. Some of them look like actual rats, like that have turned into human. Like they're anthropomorphized rats, and then some of them are just like, we'll do whatever. It doesn't really matter. They just have to look like a caricature of something.
I like to posit the theory that Rock and Rule takes place decades or maybe even centuries after the 1990s version of the Island of Dr. Moreau.
Can somebody break down the design sensibility of this film so I can make my rock and roll fan character?
Yeah.
I want to know what it would be.
Well, we've already kind of established that this is possibly the apocalyptic future of a Goofy movie, in which Powerline became so like powerful that it
Got a lot of
destroyed-
plastic surgery and turned into mock.
It feels like their whole civilization is built on glam rock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Mock is kind of like Big Brother.
David Bowie is in this couple times. Well,
Yeah.
4 times, I should say. Right next to each other, walking off stage.
Maybe it's like David Bowie
Rest
is
in
kinda,
peace, David Bowie.
Maybe
Yes.
David Bowie is like a religious figure now.
Sorry,
It's satanic
me?
Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger,
That's
Mock
what I was
Swagger.
thinking. Yeah.
Oh god. Well, yeah. Isn't that
Mock
his
is
actual
Mick
name?
Jagger.
Yeah, full name.
Mock Swagger. There's actually a really sad story
My name
about
is Mike.
like
Thanks a lot.
Lou Reed, who Mock
Voice.
is. No, he didn't voice him. He did the music.
Yeah.
But like he wasn't their first choice.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the thing. So before
Like how disappointed you sounded. with
before
that.
Lou Reed, I think it was no Iggy Pop is in the film. Before it was Lou Reed.
Well, they reached out to Bowie, and Bowie.
Yeah, Bowie
he
was the
turned it
first
down.
choice. He turned it down. Then it was who's the middle one?
Who would turn down this?
Malcolm. So it gets all the way
To Lou Reed,
Lou.
and I think they ask him. So can you do an impression of David Bowie?
Oh.
And it's like, why don't you get David Bowie? And hangs up the phone.
But he does it anyway.
But money is money.
It says here Don Franks as Mock Swagger. That's his last name.
Yeah.
Mock Swagger.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Mick Jagger.
The deepest lore.
All right then.
The echelons of
And
the
yeah, Lou Reed is the singing voice for My Name is Mock, but Iggy Pop is the singing voice for Pain and Suffering.
Right.
So,
but Lou Reed, I think, wrote 2 original songs for this film.
yeah.
There's-
Triumph.
Yeah,
Triumph.
there is a big list of
Yes.
musical numbers in this movie, none of which I can remember the names.
And what a
of, or-
tragedy that there's no physical soundtrack release for this movie. They just couldn't afford the rights.
That's a shock.
I think it's because all the money was spent making the actual film.
You can tell where the budget falls out because the screen goes black several times during the film. Or there's a montage or something. It's sad because it's hard to. It just makes it hard to follow.
Yeah, if you actually somebody did rip I think it's the guy who made the uncobbled cut of the
Thief of the Cobbler?
Yeah, Thief of the Cobbler. He actually, his side project was taking all the available musical resources of rock and roll.
Wow.
And making,
the most complete soundtrack you can find.
Yeah.
It's
That's
out there.
interesting.
And it's actually... I
gotta look for that.
I know, because I'll be honest, I did not appreciate this film as I do now until I actually heard it. And
because it feels a little more like a musical, you start to notice the songs inform the characters more, or they connect to each other.
You don't realize, wait a minute, that's Cheap Trick. And they actually wrote that song, and that. But, every song in the film was written by these huge musical stars for the film.
Yeah.
And I think, because of the rights, it took too long. Debbie Harry.
There's a lot of musical talent.
Well, Send Love Through, which is the last song of the film.
Amazing song.
Why you say
Okay, so Debbie Harry, I think because the rights were taking way too long, she actually took that song and rewrote it and released it
Same
as
melody.
herself.
Oh, wow.
And the Earth, Wind, and Fire song that they play in the club, which I forget the name of.
Dance.
Yeah, that actually that song in its form got released on one of their albums. So it's luckily there are ways to hear.
Yeah, because I'm sure if they wrote it, they're probably gonna make sure that they can release it in some way.
Yeah, I know I'd be upset if I contributed my time.
Yeah, but there was no album for.
No. Wait, the most complete version was a cassette, a musical cassette sent out to critics and reviewers for the film. That's the only. Complete form. As you can
they
tell,
all burned it or something? What the hell?
It doesn't have all those songs.
As you can tell, we're very passionate about this movie.
It unleashed a demon.
What the hell is
had
this?
to get rid of the tape.
I love these bands, but I don't like this music.
I will say, watching Rock and Roll, and I've seen it twice now on a Blu-ray and on a
big screen
on the big screen at the
Cinefamily.
at the historic Cinefamily in Hollywood. I will say, it's very hard to follow it either as a movie or a musical, because anytime a human voice is in this movie, it's almost totally unintelligible.
Yeah, there's a lot of talking over each other. There's a lot of mumbling, and the sound effects and the music in the background are louder than the voices of the characters, and that is really jarring because you're lost in what is going on, what characters, all of a sudden characters pop up and you wonder, why the hell are they there?
Yeah.
But you don't realize that beforehand. They were saying, we gotta go find Cindy.
Shut up.
And
Where's Omar?
There are little transitional bits of action that just seem like they would be necessary that are not there at all.
I feel like the only character that really stands out is Mylar because his voice cuts through you like a knife.
Yeah,
he is the weasel from Devil and Daniel Mouse.
Well, the thing is,
to a T.
Well, the thing is when Mylar shows up, everything stops for him alone, and he has a monologue. It's well,
he was somebody's favorite character.
Yeah, well, he listen, I will certainly say...
He's my favorite character. No.
The animation in this movie is really well done. More so in some characters than others. And there are moments where it's wow, that is really well done. I don't know why... They had so much effort on this character when this character had a lot of focus in this scene. The one
Mock's
character,
mouth movements are always so elaborate and seem like they're
yeah.
very. It feels like it's animated on ones, and he looks like he's taking the most ginger bite out of every word that comes out of his.
He's eating invisible fruit.
Yeah, it's like he's eating invisible fruit with his highly heavily faceted mouth.
A really juicy peach.
I could eat a peach for hours.
Do you guys what is it? Wasn't there a SpongeBob episode where SpongeBob was trying to get Squidward to eat a Krabby Patty, and Squidward's mouth just stretches out? Yeah. And there's this just laboriously animated sequence of Squidward's mouth just trying to take the most grazing tiny bite from the very edge of this Krabby Patty.
Yeah.
That is Mock's mouth.
Yeah. I'm
doing dialogue.
I am severely impressed with Mock because it looks like a hand-drawn version of a CG character that is low poly.
Yeah.
It like just
a 1998 PlayStation character.
Yeah, but animated by hand.
Lovingly.
Yeah, very lovingly.
I feel like
I
I
almost
could
felt
actually-
like he wanted, like, whoever animated Mock wanted to kiss him constantly. Because, like,
I feel like the animator must have gotten really tired from going like in the mirrors. Like,
yeah, I can imagine him looking in the mirror, just like.
Yeah, you never see Mock and Judge Claude Frollo
He
in the
can't go
same
home
room.
and kiss his wife. He's like, sorry, I was so tired.
what were you doing all day? It's not what you think.
I had to get injections in order to make this character.
I love Mock's face because I feel like I can physically like grab pieces of it and
Yeah.
climb it.
And if
he looks like
mountain.
Like a
he looks
mountain.
like just this
His face
giant
was a
mound of
mountain.
chewed gum with all these like
Yes.
Am I the only one?
crooks and
We're so fascinated with
Am I the
Mock
only one
and
who
how-
wants to like see if I move certain parts of his face, it will transform like a transformer into like a
like a
small-
Rubik's Cube?
I-
Yeah.
No, like a magic, like a box, like a little drawer slides out.
Yeah.
If you,
Yeah.
the
and
right
then,
configuration.
and then the sequence of Mock doing his high-tech science and his latex red unitard.
Yeah,
I
much.
love that look.
Much like a lot of movies of its kind, except this is animated. I mean, the whole rock opera concept and the starring the famous rock star, you know, the whole glam concept, that is Mock, and that is this whole movie because we're solely focused on Mock. I honestly don't give a crap about
Yeah, I
Omar.
could watch Mac. I could watch Mock.
Because Omar has no...
mocking me.
Isn't it
yes.
kind of telling that the film opens with Mock? In fact, the opening
Yes, it does,
The
but with
opening
his
text,
eyes. It's like
the opening text is about Mock.
Yeah.
Then it's Mock in the car.
Yeah.
Mock in his house.
Then
it's the
losers
Mock
show
show.
up.
But yeah, it's like
he's more interesting.
But I love it because in the beginning it's a mystery. It's like
Yes.
you have this mystery of who he is, and you just see his
with
eyes
these
and like the
geometric
darkness.
eyes,
But
these
you look
slits.
but then you look at someone like Omar, who's like supposed to be the main male character in the movie, and the problem is his personality is so
yeah.
he's
Bland.
dislikable and he's bland. But then
He's an ass.
But then his personality kind of changes. Like first he's really jokey, then he's really sarcastic.
I don't. Well, here's the thing. It's like they're trying to convey some sort of character with him. Like, you know, it's like, oh, he's the playful trickster that always gets them out of a jam.
He is an
but
asshole.
he fails at it.
Yeah,
he
he's
is
supposed-
like
Constantly.
Hey, we're here to like
Hi,
go.
Mock.
Hi, Mock. And it's
He's,
like.
he's supposed to be this kind of wise ass who's very cocksure and
Oh,
wants
he's a
the,
wise ass.
He
and wants the limelight. But the thing is, he's missing what makes him likable.
He's missing character.
Yeah.
Well, the weird thing is there are two versions of this film. There's the original Canadian version.
Yeah, let's
and the-
explain that for
Okay,
a
so
minute.
I'm gonna mess it up
Because I haven't really seen
Yeah.
the Canadian version.
Nor
right?
can you, because it's really the
It survives only as a work print.
yeah.
Really?
So it's really blurry, and they tried.
There was
to
a
fix
fire. You're
Wallace-
laughing,
Oh,
but
no.
Wallace and Gromit were the only ones that survived. But in
There's
but
just V like walking into his lair where there's Natalie Portman. He's carrying the Blu-ray
Is
for
this-
Rock and Roll. There was a fire.
but here's
Is this going to be like the food fight argument? It was like, oh, I lost all the
well, no,
files.
no, 'cause here's the thing. That's not even why the voices are different, but it is why the quality version of the Canadian dub is bad on the Blu-ray.
Right.
So the Canadian version of Omar is a different voice actor that all the Canadians who worked on the film agree is the superior, like this is the definitive version of Omar. And I forget if he's nicer or meaner. I forget. But
different.
If he
he's-
was meaner, then I don't know if he'd really be likable.
Like, but
Because there's no way he could be any meaner than he
Yeah.
is right now.
But apparently it's better. Tried to watch it. Anyway.
yeah.
But here's the thing.
yeah.
The American, when it came to America and I guess the team in charge of releasing it was like, we don't like this Canadian nobody. We're going to get somebody that we know. And I
An
don't
American nobody.
the American equivalent. So that's that.
The
we got-
American nobody.
So I
the
mean,
born in the heart
we
of
might be
America.
missing out on something.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
but no one will really know because
No one will.
Nobody knows.
Yeah. There's a few characters that are really, like we were saying before, there's some characters that are so well animated. Consistently, too.
Yeah.
Dizzy.
Who don't deserve
Dizzy.
it.
Can we
Wait,
let's talk about Dizzy.
Was it Dizzy or Toad? I'm trying to...
Dizzy was the one with the glasses.
Dizzy was the one with the glasses. Okay.
Also known as Alphonse for some reason.
Yeah.
Alphonse.
His real name is Alphonse, as is revealed
Alphonse.
Also known as the Bay.
He's the Fonz?
Here's the thing about Dizzy. He is the one that cares about the plot consistently.
He cares about characters.
Yeah, he's the one who kind of drives the action as far as like our three pseudo heroes are concerned. He's
the most appealing looking too.
Yeah, he's the best animated. He's the one who actually has like the family hookup that gets the three quote unquote heroes out of a jam.
Yeah, because it's like there's moments where he's looking at Angel. It's like they have more of a connection than anything.
He cares more about Angel than Omar.
Oh my god, guys! I think he's the main character.
He should have been if he wasn't just
But he's the fat guy.
Yeah.
How can he be the main character?
I smell something fat.
Oh yeah,
God.
I smell something that starts with fat.
Like Dizzy is the guy who takes care of business and keeps track of the plot. He is the guy who should be the main character.
Yeah.
And then
there's the Shaggy character.
Oh god.
Who it's like I wish was Shaggy, but he's
Shaggy too.
Does he even have
Zoinks, Omar?
Zoinks, Dizzy?
We gotta swoosh out of here.
And he is the worst offender of the Flub brothers Flub nose.
Yeah.
If there's anyone worse than Mylar,
because it's like he's supposed to be the comedic relief of the group, but he just kind of like falls flat. It's like he takes a moment to like make a line, and they're like, "Oh, gee, I didn't know about that." And it's
like
and
it'll
then,
take
and
us.
then the story just moves along.
It'll take us 3 days to get to New York. No, it'll take 6 days. We don't have a car anymore. Fuck you.
It's like, and it's almost as if the camera just kind of like quietly sighs.
That's so Martin Scorsese.
The only purpose his name is Stretch. His only purpose is that he drives the car.
Yeah,
but then they don't have a car, and then Dizzy is able to drive the car they get afterwards.
Dizzy the god.
Dizzy's arc in the film is I can't drive to suddenly driving everywhere.
Oh yeah,
he's like Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad. If you pay attention throughout the course of Breaking Bad, Jesse Pinkman finally drives at the very end of the series. He's being driven by other people throughout the entirety of the show.
That's his character arc.
There's a few other characters in the movie, like there's the lackeys of Mock.
Yeah,
which are supposedly dog people.
Sometimes there are two. Sometimes there are three of them.
Sometimes four.
What are they? The Schlepper brothers.
Yeah, the Schlubby brothers.
They're like,
Out of curiosity, taking stock among the Jewish members of the panel, were we offended by the Schleppy brothers?
I love them. Oh, I love two of them. 2 of 3.
Oh wait, he's Toad. Toad, Sleazy, and Zip.
Yeah.
And
my assistant stupid.
Oh yeah, that's
they're basically the Beagle Boys.
Yes.
Yeah,
on roller skates.
There was even a moment where I was like, I thought he sounded like Burger Beagle. It's like, no, cheap pom poms.
Yeah.
Boom booms.
But yeah, it's like Mock has these 3 lackeys, which are big lummoxes.
The Bearer brothers
on roller skates. They're all on roller skates.
Yeah, which,
all singing, all
of
dancing.
them.
Remember roller skates?
Yeah.
they weren't cool enough to have rollerblades.
I almost want to feel like that was like a nod to Xanadu or something.
I would not be surprised. Anything can happen.
Wait, who did the animation for Xanadu?
Don Bluth.
Don Bluth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
So no connection, really.
I love how everyone was like, I love how it's like, who did it? And everyone's like, Don Bluth. And you just go, oh.
Oh.
Well, that was this film.
Yeah.
I think Don Bluth anti-Disney to some extent. I think we should.
Oh, this is severely anti-Disney.
But it doesn't feel like they're aping.
I mean, I said it in the room
No.
when we watched it. Think about it. Like this movie was made in what, like 83?
Well, no, it came out 83.
It came out 83. So think about it. Like what, 40 years before?
Yeah.
You get these quaint little scenes of Mickey and Minnie kissing on the cheek. 30, 40 years later, there's mice boinking in the back of a car.
And getting interrupted.
And getting interrupted, and then suddenly
Yeah.
he's like, he grabs him by the face, and I thought he was going to crush his face. And he's like, Mark wants to see Angel.
And all he does is like show like a
card. And then like Angel goes like, Omar, forget it. Look, it's like he grabbed my face. He was,
but then she just goes back to making out with him. She's into it.
It's like Omar, we got invited,
and you would just assume that that henchman is watching.
Omar,
that's my fetish.
Omar is like constantly half-lidded and just does not care.
Omar is the friend that you don't want to hang out with.
He's hitting the Edison ball pretty hard.
He's just like he just like kind of hangs around. He's like, wow, hey, this is a great opportunity. Yeah, whatever.
He naysays everything.
He's the one grumpy coworker that you have at lunch. Like you all go to lunch together, and there's always the one guy who's like, "We all want to get burgers." Yeah, burgers.
I don't even like it here. Where did you come?
Omar is that friend who falls into like a depressive spell, and you kind of want to help him, but you can't really because his manifestation of depression is just to become like a kind of an abrasive ass to everyone around him.
He's a fat mess.
Omar is a mess. Omar is a big fat waste. Omar is a mess.
If you want to know the motivations of the main characters, I'm putting air quotes again. Omar and Angel, they don't want something. They want everything.
And they want it now.
And they agree on this.
And Mock basically says like, I can give you everything. For your voice.
Poor unfortunate soul.
I was waiting for that. Like,
we open on Omar and Angel and their band.
Mick Jagger singing. I'm sorry. Mick Jagger singing "Poor Unfortunate Soul" would have been amazing.
Still time.
Poor unfortunate soul.
We can only get Aerosmith.
Dancing in the street.
We open on the band playing at Mylar's club in ohmTown, and Mylar shuts them off in the middle of Omar's song.
He shuts off Cheap Trick.
This is like done by Cheap Trick. Mylar shuts them off, even though they, for all intents and purposes, they seem to be doing like a good set and really killing it. And Angel had Omar promise that they would do one song of Omar's and one song of Angel's.
My song.
I'm gonna trust you,
Jack.
Omar.
And when Mylar, when Omar is able to get Mylar to turn the music back on to let them, play a song, Omar takes the limelight from Angel, and instead of fulfilling the promise,
just
like
starts
Angel
rocking
do a
out
song,
and pressing the button on his guitar, like constantly, like.
Omar's just like he looks like his. Omar looks like his keytar froze and he's trying to unfreeze it aggressively, like it's a computer.
And he makes the scariest faces.
Yeah.
With his square eyes.
No wonder kids love this movie.
Rectangle eyes.
And Angel's had enough of it and decides to take over, and Angel plays a song. And this is the night that Mock has gone out on the town to find a voice that he needs for a secret.
And his ring blinks.
Yeah,
it's the ring of power.
His ring of power blinks to show that, because on his drive to Mylar's, Mock is talking to his dark helmet Tron computer, who's telling him that he needs to find a special voice to do a thing that he's clearly trying to do.
The thing that bugs me is that whenever I see a movie where the villain wants the embodiment of evil to take over, why? What does Mock get out of it?
He wants to harness the power of the demon. If you'd watched this 5 times, you would know this.
I think this...
And honestly, that is the most metal a villain can be, honestly.
Basically, Mock wants to make an album cover come true.
There's an element of Mock's character that gets lost in the film, which is that he's a magician.
Yeah.
Is he? Because it's like...
Mock the Magic Man?
Well, yeah, but the thing is that he scoffs magic. He's like...
Yeah.
He scoffs magic, and he also, has a group... His group of lummoxes basically are in a control room where they control all of the visual effects of his magic. Air quotes. My God, we should put like
air quotes.
So
this should be like
you're absolutely correct. Up to that point, everything is fake, and I think it's killing him.
Yeah, like he wants a demon.
Real magic.
Ooh.
Yeah,
we're getting deep here now.
We're doing a lot of inventing
Mike,
the narrative
pay
here
attention.
because
no, it's true.
No, it's there, but you couldn't hear the dialogue.
are we sure?
No,
Just think about
this
it
is
for
the
a
thing.
second.
This film suffers because it's murky. It's
Yeah.
hard to see what's going on. It's hard to understand what the people are talking
The
about.
pacing is very weird.
The movie kind
Daylight
of...
happens.
But there's a great
and then
movie
it's-
in there, I swear to
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, but the movie doesn't seem to want you to see it.
Mm.
It's like when a little kid is doing a school play and he knows his dad is in the audience, and so he just starts doing his lines quieter and quieter and edges towards the curtain a little bit instead of coming out on stage.
It's like Omer is about to whiz on the stage.
Yeah, that's
Like,
that's what Rock
about
and Roll
to
does,
whiz
because the
himself.
audio is so murky and imparsible, and the image is so dark.
I'm really sad because I feel like with
But
the right amount of editing.
Yeah, I honestly, I mean, there is an audible element to this that needs to be fixed.
Yes.
The visual elements, however, it's like while it's chaotic, I really enjoy looking at it.
Yeah.
It's like it's when we're in the bar scene, the dance scene. There are some really like creepy, very creepy
Dizzy
people.
dancing behind that chick
Is the best
is the
thing
greatest
in the
thing in
film.
the whole movie.
That is
Yeah,
life.
that is. It's one of the best
Because
looking
who
things.
hasn't done that before? Who hasn't done that?
Yeah.
And like you never thought like
It's a wild and crazy guy dance.
So-
Hey, we're going to find some chicks because we're wild and crazy guys.
So-
once again Dizzy proves he's the best character in the film.
Yeah. So there are elements to this that are just really amazing. But
Disney should have
continuing on
probably
with the
cut
story.
audio.
Continue on with the story. Mock needs Angel as a voice
He needs her
to
voice.
summon the devil.
He's trying to open
Summon
a portal.
He's trying to summon Iggy Pop.
He's trying to open
Like you do.
Like I said, the devil.
He's trying to open a portal.
Spotify isn't working. I need to do.
He's trying to open a portal to another dimension, which is apparently the hell dimension, because as time goes on, as Mock just
Another
reiterates
dimension.
his plan, he goes from, I gotta open the portal to another dimension, I gotta get the creature from another dimension, I gotta get this demon out of here.
Listen, I just want to get this demon out of this
At
hole.
that point, he's
out of this red
Sitting on the
star.
toilet. Gotta get this demon out.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because like it throughout this movie, there's a lot of elements that make it a lot more mature.
Like the sex.
There's
The not sex.
The coke.
there isn't so
Yeah, the
much
coke.
there isn't so much violence. There is sex and there is drugs.
There's a lot of drugs actually.
Yeah,
Mouse-
there's
mouse
visually
More drugs and violence.
There's
Yeah.
a butt.
visually
Several.
seeing Mock snort a line of cocaine and just go like
It's a whimsical line of cocaine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was-
it's like the coke.
it's magic.
It's
He's
like magic
sniffing
coke that like drifts out of his ring and into his snout.
Because like the snort is so powerful, it's like dragging all the cocaine.
and there's also other elements of like drug use in this where it's like they give him Omar and his
Yeah.
team glowing balls.
Edison balls?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they basically it's just like
It's like LSD, I guess.
It's so
It's
pretty.
kinda like
I guess that's like how he controls their minds or
Yeah,
something
it's
because
kinda like
there's
the-
one moment where
They're in a
he's-
giant one.
yeah. They're in a giant
You
one.
like Edison balls? Now you're in one.
You better start believing in innocent balls.
But this like torture Edison ball is not fun because they're clearly in pain when they're stuck inside
Are
of it.
they?
Oh yeah, and then
they
they go
kinda-
into the fetal position, and then
Yeah.
afterwards they're just like, "Hey, we're fine."
They're so broken.
yeah.
But we've gotten ahead of ourselves.
Well,
There's no like the movie. There's no. way
That's
to
just it.
keep
But the
track.
thing is, this movie. I mean, like, I'm taking a complete freaking back seat to this whole thing. This movie is so beautiful, but it's so freaking confusing. I don't know what the only thing I know is that Angel and Omar wanted
Everything.
They want everything. Mock wants to let the meat out of the freezer, and then like Dizzy wants to help Angel, and then there's some weird characters that they pass through. They pass through. There's one character. They go to Dizzy's like aunt, who's voiced by Catherine O'Hara.
She's a tattoo artist.
Oh yeah.
She's a tattoo
and
artist.
she's putting a naked mermaid on the head
Very visible nipples
of a French rat.
Sailor.
Voiced by Maurice LaMarche.
And the rat sailor has a harpoon for a peg leg.
Yeah, and
it's very creative.
And we don't really know what his purpose is because we're following him after the scene, and he goes up to a TV, like an ATM that turns into a two-way video screen. Where he's just like, let me tell you about my side of the story. And
they were supposed to be on the take.
I feel like he did something they knew about, so there's a lot of blackmailing going on that we don't know about.
Maybe, I guess.
Sounds like the music industry.
Maybe he was an informant or something?
Yeah.
It's like,
I
tried to keep them from coming to New York, but here they are. I should have known. So, shit! And then he explodes.
How do they thank him for the information they make him explode?
And then a pig man eats the hot dog.
To clarify.
It's great because we didn't even mention the fact that there was a hot dog involved. It's like another phrase like jumping the shark. He ate the hot dog.
Yeah. When you put it like
that.
The
pig man ate the hot dog.
To clarify, so after Mock sees Angel sing, he invites the band over to his place where he distracts the boys with Edison balls, kidnaps Angel, and flies her. His mansion turns into an airship that flies to the city.
A blimp. He has a Zeppelin.
A Zeppelin.
And he flies.
Oh, fuck
and
you.
Mock
you can't talk to him like that.
Mock and his lackeys and Angel fly to the city of New York.
Yes.
And the boys travel on car
3 days.
3 days by a stolen cop car.
Yeah.
And this is the best thing. They get caught by a checkpoint where this cop says, New York is closed. No one gets to go into the city.
And he like has a John Wayne voice, like, well, hey, you can't get past me.
This isn't a tuna fishing license.
And Omar tries to use a tuna fishing license to get into New York.
This is one of the moments where it's like, it baffled me to where it's like, I know what they're trying to do with this character. They're trying to make him like the slick, like, hey, I can get us out of any scrape. Let me handle this, guys. Hey, look.
But it doesn't work, but it also works because it doesn't work, because for punishment for trying to get into the city, they're brought into the city.
Yeah. I almost feel like I'm going to put you through the harshest punishment ever. I'm going to bring you into New York. Mike, you're from New York.
How accurate
is this?
Radioactive City Music Hall is pretty spot on. I think my favorite thing is that you see Radio City Music Hall with the remnants of it.
Yeah.
Then you pan across the street and see this tall, horrible, nightmarish, corporate-looking building. And of course, to me, the first thing I think of is it's the Fox News building, because it's just this tall, menacing, awful, disgusting building.
Yeah, and there's like, okay, so Mock. It basically, I guess what the thing is like he has a concert there, but it goes awry because
we never see it.
We don't see it. It's suggested that
it's blown up.
It happened because there immediately afterward, Mock is like in a chair looking like dejected, and he's just like, it looks like he's on the worst bender ever. And then the newscast basically says like, last night the Mock concert was one of the. Oh wait, no, he sounds like the rich and famous guy.
Wow, and cool trip.
Mock did not. Yeah, he just.
Mock did not do the thing.
And then I honestly like it when they have stuff on the TV because it has this really great filter to it,
which is probably
it looks like a security
optical,
camera or something.
Probably
some kind of cool effect.
Yeah, it is a great effect, and I really like it. And I wish it was seen more in animation for some reason. I mean, I'd love to see it again, but it's like there was that mouse that they interviewed that was like this.
That's my favorite shot in the entire film.
Yeah, it was like, oh wow, there was like this big explosion, and like I said, and then wow, and it was like wow, and then she just like falls over, and then
that was her last breath of
real
air.
life.
She's dead now.
Yeah, yeah.
So in New York, Angel manages to try and sneak out of Mock's lair, where she overhears Mock's plan for raising this demon
with Cindy.
Yeah,
we cannot
break out.
Don't you dare forget about this beautiful, beautiful woman
with a neck face
to Cinderella, who is the Schlemmer brothers.
Schlepper sister.
Schlepper sister, who is just this.
Schlepper brothers and the Schlepper sister.
She's a glass schlepper.
This mad. She's just
no!
She's just this massive.
She is Kronk in drag.
She's built exactly like the Schlepper brothers, except she's wearing
more
like
muscular.
She's more muscular and more top heavy.
Mm.
Has this massive like
everything
60s bra prow in front of her.
She can easily slip through the vents.
She is the most confident woman I have ever seen.
She's amazing. I love this character.
Is it the first camel toe in animation?
Yeah, true. Yeah,
and she has the tiniest skirt ever rendered.
We see her panties a lot.
Yeah,
she's not even wearing a skirt
at one point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, wait. There's an
more
amazing
panty shots in the Chipmunks movie.
We just about get a colonoscopy of her.
But there's that amazing transition of like, I know what you're saying, and it goes into her crotch and then out of her butt.
and Cinderella decides to
It's like all it needed was the sound effects like
Cinderella decides to Angel gets Cinderella to sneak her out of Mock's compound so they can go clubbing. Meanwhile, Dizzy, because he's the guy who's in charge of everything.
The idea man.
Because Dizzy's the only guy who knows what the fuck should happen, has managed to get the guys out of, I guess, police custody by calling his aunt, who's a tattoo artist in New York.
In New York, you can be a nuke man.
Who happens to know...
for the Hamill fans.
Who happens to know...
Nuclear.
That she, somehow Dizzy's aunt gives them the lead to this winged heart tattoo on Cinderella's ass.
Yeah.
It's like, do you happen to know anyone, Aunt?
Listen, that is the whole link to this, because she has absolutely no other purpose, and she's not even seen after this scene at all.
Yeah.
It's like one of the Schlubby brothers just like comes into the club and basically just like, young lady, time to go home. And that's it. For all we know, they killed her.
Yes.
Because we also don't see that guy. The guy with the scar on his...
No, we
which
do.
One?
It's the middle one. The one that looks like the Scar brother, but he doesn't have a scar.
I love how there's two characters that look exactly the same, and then there's the one who's like the simpleton curly...
J-ball.
Yeah. So the boys manage to get to this anti-grav club where all the drugs and the debauchery are. They find Cinderella and Angel. The Schlepper brothers steal Cinderella, and Omar goes trying to chase after Angel.
You get this really confusing scene.
And we see this weird scene where Omar is in the Bradbury building from Blade Runner just about.
Yeah.
And he sees Mock making out with Angel.
Or does he?
That's my babe.
But it's not really Angel. It's this horrible zombie woman with a lifelike scary
she's
mask.
she's like a Gaster from Fallout or something.
But her name is what's her face.
Yeah,
that's her whole job.
It's even right here on the list of characters. So what's her face?
Master of Disguise. What's her face?
I love it.
It's Edna, aka what's her face.
What the fuck?
Yes, her real name is Edna.
That was in the novelization.
And the boys
read the comic series.
And the boys end up getting thrown into the giant Edison ball and sent in this euphoric stupor on a bus back to hometown.
Where they sing going anyway.
Where they sing like what did you say it was? They're singing a song.
The inverted version of the first song, which I think is
Born to Raise Hell, where they sing I hate this town
and I hate you and the girls like me. No, and then. But the amazing thing about this song, and by the way, also by Cheap Trick, is I like you. I like the things that you do. I like girls. And once again, if
Like
they
this
had
town.
released a soundtrack,
Yeah.
we would have been able to appreciate this.
I had almost forgotten, like, this scene in the beginning where they sing the I Hate You song. Omar is approaching a woman, the only woman in the audience.
Yes, the only member.
The only groupie, I guess.
Completely
of this,
indiscriminate age.
she
She may be 12,
comes-
she may be 47, I don't know.
for all I know,
rat
she's
ears.
Yeah, but he comes up to her singing the song like as if it was to her.
Yeah.
And he has like a
just, like,
visual
sexy-
batch, like just right up on the camera, and it's there for a long time.
And then he runs his fingers down his body.
He does like
it's-
sexy twinkle fingers up and down his crotch.
And I'm enticed slightly. But then he's like, "You're pretty useless." And she's like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that."
Yeah, I'm so fascinated by the entire concept of the fact that it's decent music, and they have these scenes that are animated really well to these music scenes. Now we're getting to Mock, which is hi, my name is Mock.
Thanks.
I talk a lot.
It informs you about everything you need to know
think
about the
he's
character.
He's not.
I am Mock does not rhyme with lot.
But there's an
He's-
O in there.
But he
It
really
sounds like
he really
Lot.
appreciates you learning his name
Yes.
because the lyrics are "My name is Mock. Thanks a lot."
And that is pretty much the song, and then we have the triplet singing, and it's like
the Harley
waggling
Quinn.
finger.
yeah, the Harley,
The waggling
my
finger.
name is Mock.
He
Thanks
thinks
a
he's
lot.
cool, but he's hot. But it sounds like he thinks he's cool, but he's not. It's like, no, wait.
It's like wait a minute.
And this is the song just over Mock flying back to Ohmtown because, as we find out after the
He needs more power.
because
More
Nuke
power.
York does not have enough power to power raising the devil.
As
But
Jake,
Ohmtown does.
You need Ohmtown's power plant to raise the devil.
Whenever-
Everyone knows this.
as Jake pointed out, it's like before they enter Nuke York, they have power outages. They plan this. The movie was paying attention. We were not.
But we were not. And his name is Mock.
Yeah, it's a very like a Mad Max
you could
Fury
only-
Road scenario
if
where
you
they
could
have to
only
go back to
But
where they
why-
began.
Okay.
Do not, my friends, become addicted to rock. It will take hold of you, and you will learn
Emoted Mock.
You will learn
But
to resent its absence.
Thanks a lot.
we also have to not forget the song, the Mock song before that, which has this beautifully animated like laser sequence
I
of
think
faces.
it's either hand animated.
That had to have been
It is.
hand
I
animated.
think it
It's-
was like hand drawn, but then lasers involved.
probably, yeah. But it looks really
Somehow
nice.
lasers.
At the end of the
it's
song, it sends tentacles out to. It makes.
To make love.
Makes Angel sleepy.
Yeah.
It's like it face fucked her.
makes Angel.
It's like these intestines come out to trap Angel somehow.
Yeah.
And a scream that is not hers can be heard.
Yeah. She has like this like collar now that is forcing her to sing.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden.
She's being controlled like a
But
computer.
we also have to mention that like during the trip back on the Zeppelin, on the Mock Zeppelin, we are treated to Mock like
The mocker ship.
just like he's just kind of like staggering
ship.
about, laying back in his chair, and he's just like, I just don't care no more. He's just like he's lighting a spleef, and then he's like,
Spleef.
and
It's the skinniest blue joint
It's the
Yeah.
skinniest
ever.
spleef I've ever spliffed.
It's like the
it's
breakfast.
splendiferous.
It's like the breakfast at Tiffany's of joints. It's just
Yeah.
long and skinny. And
There's probably nothing
blue.
even in there.
We got to talk about the show that
Uncle
that
Mike.
Uncle
Well,
Mike.
Uncle
that's
Mikey.
where I was getting
It's
to.
the
Ad,
heart
because
of the movie.
while this is all happening, the dumb guy Zip, he's
idiot.
the idiot,
The
he's
idiot brother.
The youngest
The
and
Baka.
get it right. That's
the
our
Baka
word.
Gaijin.
the Curly of the Three Stooges.
Yeah, the most young and innocent of
The
the
Zeppo.
of
He's-
the Schlemmer, the Hamacher Schlemmer brothers.
Schlemmer in the cooler.
Okay, so basically, Zip is watching a show called Uncle Mikey.
Where's this clown man?
Well, he's basically saying...
Clown monster.
Who is this clown?
It's like a preschool show made by Mike Judge.
It looks like the British made it for nightmare children.
Yeah, and he's like, "Hi kids, can you tell the difference between good and evil?"
Yeah, Uncle Mikey, he gives me kind of a salad fingers vibe because he's got like way too many like scratchy lines.
I was waiting for like this big dark tentacle in the corner just to come up and start engulfing it.
He also
you're like,
I was just waiting for a Monty Python foot to come and go.
He also looks kind of like early Tim Burton, like Oyster Boy type of designs.
it looks like something from Liquid Television.
He's very wispy and like wrinkled looking.
But the whole point is that Zip is like watching this like, J boss, what we doing good or evil? And then like Mott comes up is like he snorts up like magic dust, and then he goes like, Zip, don't you understand? We're doing what we want to do.
There's no black or white.
There's no good or evil. It doesn't matter.
And besides, evil spelled backwards is live.
And we all want to do that.
Or live.
I guess so.
Gee, I guess so. And but it's all like it's foreshadowing for what's going to happen later on, which is the next concert. Oh,
they
by the way, the
defeat
cop
demon
comes
by spelling
back.
him backwards.
Oh, what's the thing that the cop says? We laugh.
Slime!
Now this is not the cop that lets them. That's the border guard at New York. This is a
much
different.
better
This
cop.
is a different cop. This
Which
is the cop
apparently
at
is a
Ohmtown who is like a fat like
mustache man.
He's like the
looks like
deputy
my
from.
Is that what your dad looks like?
And he's apparently the only cop in Ohmtown.
yes.
Yeah, he's the only cop.
He's the OM. He's the OPM. I think.
Cop on the edge.
Police force. It's on the.
He
OPD.
looks
He's
like
the OG OPD.
No.
he looks
Now
like
you
the
know
deputy
me.
from the Dukes of Hazzard, and he's just he comes. I was like, "What you boys doing?" And you guys, you slime are just
Stay there. I'm gonna go get the evidence.
yeah. And then they steal his car.
I think he's animated by Tom Cito.
I
Possibly.
I know that
All
Tom
characters were
Cito
animated by Tom
was-
Cito.
I know he was assigned to a lot of the monster at the end.
yeah, and which is honestly pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Looking at
Mr.
it.
Meaty.
Yeah, Mr. Meaty. Yeah.
It's like a big hand puppet comes out of the ground.
But it is like it's really that entire sequence with the devil in the end is very
It's not even the devil. It's just an embodiment
like heavy
of
metal,
some embodiment of evil from another dimension.
right? Yeah, but I mean like
From the hell dimension.
It looks
AKA the devil.
it looks like a heavy metal cover like coming to life, and I honestly I've seen the movie Heavy Metal, and while it's I don't know, it's like it's also been a while since I've seen it, but I honestly think that is a mishmash of an idea of what heavy metal
It's
is.
like the Fantasia of rock.
And I honestly think that this movie kind of embodies that idea of music more than any other movie that I've seen before, outside of Brutal Legend, which is just like
Not a movie.
It's not a movie. It's a game, but it does like really good job of just making homages to everything.
Yeah, the demon at the end of this looks like this constantly morphing, like it looks like a monster from Doom that's just constantly shifting and growing more mouths.
It's huge. That means it has huge guts.
It's made out of guts.
We mentioned before that apparently they superimposed photos of meat.
I think they got.
Over it.
I thought they got like
That's
actual
actually pretty
like
neat.
cow guts from because one of the
My name is
animators
Meat,
had
and
one of
that
the
is
animators had like grown up in a butcher shop or on a slaughterhouse or one of the animators she like grew up in some place where cows are disassembled and they
locally sourced guts.
They went to a butcher shop and just got a bunch of fucking like cow guts or something and shot through that to make this monster.
Film through meat vision.
Put on your special glasses.
Like that. So it's huge. That means it's huge. It's just guts.
Yeah, but while this is happening, the concert, this amalgamation of evil, just
Doom. Amalgamation of evil.
randomly picks up 3 people from the audience and shoves it in their mouth. Everyone's still there. It's like they're
no
not
one's running.
They're just going like, yeah, man, yeah, this is fucking awesome.
Meanwhile, the power surge has like that the summoning of the demon has caused, because you need to use a lot of power to summon a demon.
They almost don't have enough power.
Yeah.
But then guess what, guys?
They have power.
They got power.
It blows up the electrical grid around Ohmtown to snap Omar and the boys out of their stupor.
Yeah,
the Omar and the daycares.
I should say, okay, so Stretch and Dizzy, not Omar, break into Mock's concert.
Yeah.
And they break in
because the last thing Omar remembers is seeing Mock and Angel sucking face. So he's like, let her go have her concert. She wants to be a star.
But then he shows up.
Yeah, he appears.
He's like, no, I'm not gonna let you take my girl.
No, I'm not gonna let you take the limelight, Angel. Wait, whoa.
So
get off the stage.
Mock, you can summon your demon, but at least let me play my song.
Hey, Mock,
I'm gonna let you finish. I knew you were about to say it.
Drop the mic.
You cut me off, Mike.
You cut me to the quick.
But no, when Omar shows up at the concert, he's holding his keytar above his head and just belting out the biggest scream, and I think lightning flashes behind him.
And then he lights on fire.
Yeah. The demon does something and just lights him on fire and leaves him in a heat.
And Dizzy and Stretch are trying to put him out, like we just see a fire on the stage, and they're going like, whoa, hang on, Omar, we're saving
using their
you.
awesome jackets,
and
ruining them.
But in the middle of that, it's like Angel. Meanwhile,
Angel's burst free of her shackles.
Can I just ask, how would you describe how Mock is playing his instrument?
He's kind of like palming the air above these tubes to make lights.
Blue Man Group.
If you've ever seen the Blue Man Group, organ. They just have like pipes, and they just like beat on them with like ping pong paddles, and it just makes like boom, 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 boom. And somehow this is what Mock is doing. This is how he orchestrates.
But
his
he's
music.
doing it without making any actual physical contact.
Is that the In the Air Tonight drum fill?
He's kind of playing like a big high tech and he's floating in this pipe organ thing, like above the crowd in this little mini airship that kind of looks like vaguely like Black Manta from Aquaman.
Yeah,
from Super Friends.
I wanted to say there's a moment where the demon shoots, I guess, a fireball or something, and it hits. It's about to hit Omar and Angel.
Oh, and yes, and then before it hits Omar,
Squiggy gets hit.
Squiggy,
the dumb one,
the dummy. He comes in and he goes in front of the fire and he gets hit, and then we have that very, very serene moment. Why'd you do it? I don't want to be evil.
Uncle Mikey.
Uncle Mikey.
No, he actually says like, "Why did you do it?" For Uncle Mikey.
and it's like, well, how you put it was like a very, very, very beautiful scene with the most ugly characters in the entire movie.
Like
and
the animator could very obviously render something. He had appeal.
Yeah.
And these characters, I say it, do not have that appeal on their own. So it's like, wow, this looks great.
Yeah.
The thing that I saw a version. Is there a version where he's alive?
Yes. Yeah. And I'm surprised that that's not the version we saw.
Yeah, because
that's probably the other version.
The director's
cut.
Yeah,
he shows up at the end like, "Hi guys."
You can only see that on the Criterion Collection version of Rock and Roll.
But guys, we saw his skate. It slowed and stopped. That means he's dead.
Yeah.
According to cinematic.
He says that he dies.
But then the other guy.
Too.
Oh, what?
Right before he throws Mock down.
He's like, my brother's dead.
Yeah, but the thing that bugged me was
so
that
eerie,
Mock. Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves again, but
we've been doing that.
Mock
Mock
is on this big floating thing, and somehow the one brother gets on
he's
it
suddenly up there.
He's suddenly
Yes.
up
Oh,
on
he
this.
knows the way. He worked behind the scenes. So he
And to stay on
obviously-
that thing on roller skates.
He's got a backstage pass.
It's got
Yeah.
chutzpah.
But so what happens is, so this big monster's about to fight and about to engulf Angel. And then she starts singing, and then she's not being able to hold him off, and then suddenly Omar joins in.
Well,
Yeah.
I love it's like, no, Angel, I gotta do it, Omar. I gotta sing.
I hate it when you sing.
Because
Trust me.
Angels figured out that
made
if
it a
she
duo.
can sing it out of hell, she could sing it back into
Can
hell.
send it back.
But not just one voice.
That's
And she quickly learns.
Yeah.
so she sang
Voices in
backwards.
unison.
And
So earlier, this
Cranberry
is the twist, so to speak.
Paul is a dead man.
Earlier when Angel was sneaking out of Mock's compound with Cinderella, Angel overhears Mock talking to his dark
Brain
star
computer.
his brain pewter.
Oh yeah, that was weird. It was a brain.
Yeah,
like,
you see just that his computer is hooked up to a big just puddle of Jello.
It's very smart, intuitive computer.
And
It's
Mock
mother
is,
brain.
Mock is asking the computer how to raise the devil, and I think it's like the computer says, one voice, one heart, one song. And but then the computer says, but there's someone whose magic can send the demon back, and Mock starts yelling because magic isn't real, but demons are, and
oh yeah.
It's like, no one, and he takes it literally,
Yeah,
but she should have been listening figuratively.
the computer says there is no one that can send the demon back. The computer just says
Mock,
no
I'm not
one.
done.
But
have more to
the
say.
twist
Mock,
is
are you listening? Mock, hello.
the twist is that
Shut up, computer wife.
the twist is that no one can send the demon back, but two.
Yeah, and the thing is, he gets thrown
So
into...
break me
Not-
off a piece of that Kit Kat.
A singular voice cannot
He's
send
thrown
it back.
into this big
Pentagram
vat
hole.
to hell.
Awesome
And he
star.
falls in, and then at one point he somehow crawls out to make the one line where he's like, "Oh, I get it.
And the
I
walls of
should have saw it before.
the walls of the
going to
pentagram.
hell."
The walls of the pentagram.
Joke's on me.
The walls of the pentagram pit are completely smooth. He's just kind of gripping onto nothing.
Which is kind of scary to me as I watch him. Like, if I was in that situation, I'd be screwed. I'm
Yeah.
so tired.
Mock kind of takes it pretty well, actually.
And so then
It's
they
like he
become,
gets embedded in the floor.
yeah.
but they become
Yeah, it just closes it. It's like,
His lungs just fill up with foundation.
Well, anyway, that's the end of Mock, and we'll all live happily ever after. And Mylar shows up, and with messy hair as well. It's like he's like, because he's been through the worst of it.
Because
I'm sure.
Mylar is the one that arranged the show at the power plant. Because Mock just calls Mylar up and says,
Yeah.
set up a concert at the power plant, and Mylar has the jurisdiction to do that.
And no refunds after Mock dies.
This guy who owns a dive where it's like everyone on stage is behind a cage, so the people don't throw like beer bottles at them. So
What did the poster say?
I feel like
open mic night rules.
yeah,
talent show rules.
talent show.
I think basically this takes place in like a post-apocalypse where we've reverted to a rock-based economy. Where it's just the power just rock is
Yeah.
if you
It's metal
you could
octopus.
buy,
I-
you could
I-
buy your
How
meals
many
with a
rocks
song.
for
Whoever
this piece
could-
of bread?
whoever controls the
Mock
rock
rocks.
controls the universe.
Yeah, well,
Whoever
this
controls
is
the rock controls the
this
world.
is why I connected this to Metalocalypse, because it's like Mock is like the all powerful being that everyone knows because he's the big rock star and he owns everything, so everyone knows him. So, but he is just a regular guy that wants power, and he tries to find that one voice and finds it in a talent show from obviously the only good-looking woman in this entire
And
thing.
oh, is she good looking?
Yeah.
At the very end when she's strung up having to sing the demon
Oh,
out
you
of
don't-
And
hell.
she becomes like a barbarian chick.
Yeah, she's like dressed up like
Frank Frazetta.
Oh, definitely like a Frank Frazetta painting.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
it looks like the cover of like a Conan comic or like you're the hunter from the future or whatever, but it's like,
well,
it's just
Manos the Hands of Fate.
Yeah, it's just side boob for days.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
she's wearing this tunic thing as has to sing Satan out of the bowels of hell.
It's only, well, that's tradition. I mean, that's when you're summoning a demon, you have to have someone in a ill-fitting robe.
It's very
This fits someone else before you. I'm not gonna.
This is an oversized tissue that we're making you wear. So just put this on your necklace, and hopefully it won't fly around. All right. So
when she takes the collar off. It looks
she just rips it off. Like, how did she get down from there? I don't remember. Did anyone take her down?
Omar, in his one moment of heroism, it's like, it's my song! He hits something,
thanks,
and
Omar.
it frees her.
Thanks, Omar.
In a sense, it was never about Angel. It was about Omar.
Oh, fuck Omar.
It was never even about Omar. It was about Dizzy.
Dizzy.
Yeah. Okay, the takeaway. All right, Dizzy got screwed. Honestly, it's like Omar gets the girl. Dizzy has
to hang around Stretch.
Yeah, fuck, God.
Fuck Stretch.
Unrequited love.
I wish
Dizzy
that
just has to
Stretch
fuck
could have gotten
Stretch all
hit
day.
by a car.
Hey, gee, they're kissing. What about us? Don't you dare, piece of shit.
Over the credit, and then
You realize they're already a couple.
And then the ending gives you a fucking seizure.
yeah.
They've been married for years.
So Mock
like a married couple.
So Mock falls into hell. The Hamaker Schlemmer brothers are just kind of gone or there.
Schmalaki schlinkers. Schlemmer.
Mylar is saying good job and is getting everybody to cheer, and then we see a rainbow, the symbol of God's promise,
Which they probably took on loan from the Care Bears movie.
And then when the credit comes up that says made thanks to like the Canadian Film Board or whatever, and then suddenly the screen just fills up with white and burns your eyes.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The retina's there.
Oh yeah. It's like if you think about it, seeing this in the theater, it's a really dark movie. Then all of a sudden they just shine a bright light in your face,
and then at the very
and then
end,
it's like ah.
And then the credits say dedicated to the proud fighters of the Mujahideen.
And yeah, pretty much the seats. Whoever was in the seats in the theaters is just was skeleton there.
Well, let's talk about that for a second.
Bleach skin.
Because when this film got distributed,
yeah.
It didn't. It got buried. The producing forces that when the film was originated
One of the producers
weren't there.
We must never produce this film.
That's right. The film,
much like Return to Oz.
Right.
Yeah. No, it went through many hands.
Now,
Werner Herzog walks out of the screening room and says, "You must never show this film."
And I think the
Here's a
tragedy,
video of me
it'll always
eating
be
a
remembered
shoe.
as a box office failure above all else.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm looking at the numbers right now. The budget of this movie
$38 trillion.
No, it was $8 million.
Oh man.
$8 million.
In what year?
In the budget in 1983.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot.
For an animated film?
That's $128 in American.
Do you want to know? Okay, I'm going to say the number, how much this made in the box office. Not even $31,000.
Ooh.
And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what happened.
Tell me what
Somebody
happened.
made a calculation. They said, if we don't market this film and we release it in 1 or 2 theaters for a week, we will save more money than if we try to actually make the film happen.
Really?
They let it die.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember a couple of us in this room,
That's painful.
a couple of us
all
in
that
this
work.
room saw a screening of it that was curated by Phil Lord.
Yes.
He oddly enough loves this movie. He's so fascinated
Actually,
by it.
I talked to him after the screening. He said he'd never seen it before.
Really?
He'd heard so much about it.
He was
like,
so fascinated by this movie.
Yeah, he was.
Because I think
We all were.
Okay.
Clone High was made at Nelvana, yeah?
Oh yeah, it was.
Was
That's
it?
right.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
The connection's clear.
So while Phil Lord and Chris Miller were working on Clone High at Nelvana, they, like Phil Lord at least, was super fascinated by the prospect of finally seeing Rock and Rule. He just really wanted to finally see Rock and Rule.
For years it wasn't available, and like the fact that there's a
Blu-ray. I was
Blu-ray-
shocked when this was on DVD, and then the Blu-ray came out.
Yeah, the Blu-ray is the result of, it's one of those things where we have to do this or, it will never happen and it's up to us. But but for years, like, I think the only way to see it was either through collectors or if you went to Comic-Con and you found a bootleg. In fact, there's
And a lot of the bootlegs mistakenly labeled it as a Ralph Bakshi movie.
Yeah, like people thought it was a Ralph Bakshi movie because it's for adults.
Not surprising.
No, that isn't surprising.
Yeah. How sad is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we should take from this movie is that it's a brilliantly crafted movie that unfortunately fell flat on its face.
It's what happens when you fly too close to the sun.
Yeah, and
you
honestly,
burn your weasel nose.
But give it a chance.
Yeah, no, I okay. I'm gonna go around the board, but for me, I'm honestly going to say that this is a recommendation. This movie honestly should be seen.
Yes.
The story is very confusing, but it's not as hard to follow as a lot of other stuff we've seen. So
Nutcracker Prince.
Pinocchio's face. It does. I mean,
cough.
If you kind of pay attention to the audio, there is a semblance of story, and you will understand what is going on. And there are to be honest, there are fun characters in this movie.
Dizzy.
Dizzy.
Cindy.
Mom. Dizzy.
Cinderella.
Cindy and Dizzy. My original true pairing.
Yeah, that's my OTP right
If
there.
your character's name ends in Y, chances
It's
are
good.
we liked the character in the movie.
Sleazy.
Mocky.
Yeah, he was one of
Yeah,
the...
Sleazy was the one that was like, I'm doing it for Uncle Mikey.
I'm doing it.
So those are my OTPs from this movie: Dizzy and Cindy, and Sleazy and Uncle Mikey.
Yeah. No, and it does have like very, very, very well done animation. That I mean, Mock is really ugly. He's an ugly animated character that is beautiful in his ugliness, because when you look at it, you just see this like craft of like someone like really loved the way this looked, and he just like I envision the animator just like doing those lips like constantly, what we were talking about earlier. But I really, this is like a guilty pleasure for me, this movie. It is honestly a really well done piece of crap. I hate to say that. No, in simplistic terms, I will say that it is very well done, but it is really,
it's flawed.
It is
to
flawed.
All hell.
It is very flawed. But it is definitely worth a watch. And so around the board, let's get your consensus, Jacob.
Yeah, I think this film, its heart is definitely in the right place. I didn't understand it the very first time I saw it. In fact, I think I may have fallen asleep. But this film really opens up the more you watch it. I know that it's a little hard to say. The first time you watch it, you're not going to like it. But watch it. There's
it doesn't start off very well, actually.
I think it's a film. It's like it's just a perfect little artifact. It's it's sort of like just a twisted yellow submarine. It'll just always stand on its own as just a really just interesting musical artifact of its time.
Right. Yeah. Zoe.
No, I love this movie, but it's very flawed. And the pacing is so weird. And like I said, if they only edited if they cut out 20 minutes of it, I feel like
if
you could follow it a little more. And it's a shame, but because there's so much love and like they really they were trying to do something interesting and new, and they had good people on it.
There is definitely kerosene in this entire movie.
And just so you know that they were having fun, like the paint colors they were using in the cells were named like penis pink and nipple pink.
This is not a Disney movie.
Say no.
And don't mix up those colors.
Yeah, but it was like but yeah, it's
I'm looking for penis pink.
I can't tell the difference.
Number 35.
But it's
What's the hexadecimal for penis pink?
You're gonna put a heck on me.
but it's so fascinating. That's the thing. This film is fascinating, and unfortunately, you really do need to give it several watch throughs. And I always I go in and I say, "Oh man, why am I watching this?" And then that last scene comes on, whereas like with Debbie Harry's amazing song, I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is why." But
Great song.
It is. It's a good song.
So good.
This does have really good music. I was fairly surprised. I mean, usually you don't. I mean, usually when it comes down to it, when it's a musical animated film, you get. It's like, no more Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah, where's Mock's "I Want" song?
Or that new Illumination movie, Sing.
I don't know about that.
Soon to be reviewed.
It's gonna be eventually. It's a new movie, but it's all these animals just singing pop songs.
Oh,
didn't they already do that?
Yeah, it's
Wasn't
called
it that-
History.
No.
It's called the history of Disney.
No, you're thinking of Happy Feet. They dance
They
the
have like
pop
a
music.
I saw the trailer. There's like a sheep singing "Seal," a kiss from
boy.
a rose, and
Your favorite song.
Are there any animal puns in it? Like,
No,
Couldn't a seal have been singing?
I know.
motherfuckers!
All right.
All right,
And a
but-
sheep could
So-
be singing Pink Floyd.
But yeah,
I would say, if
Sheep.
anything, if you're looking for a gay, like, what the hell are they talking about? Look up I Am Mock. Thanks a lot. Because that's actually how I found out about this movie in the first place. Is people said, "You guys see this movie, Zoe? You did?" And it's like, I'm in college, not watch anything. So look up the Mock song.
yeah. Aaron.
I will say Rock and Roll kind of defies criticism. I've watched it twice now, and I gotta say it's almost kind of like, I mean, I'm not saying it's a good quote unquote movie. It's not something that you can look at like you sit down to watch a movie and have a fun time, or and it's not, you don't sit down and watch it in the same way that you would sit down and watch like I don't know, like Kazam, where it's like, this is a relic of a bygone era that I know is not good.
Yeah.
It's
like, I put it in terms of like, if this were put on Mystery Science Theater, is this a movie that is bad that it's good to make fun of?
No,
or is a movie that is so bad it's like you can't even bear to watch it?
No, it's not even that it's so bad or it's too bad. I just think this is not the movie that you would want to. This is not the movie that you would want to MST3K at all, because it's very fascinating and something to behold. It's almost kind of like, if a student film got way too big for its own good, and you had all that drive and passion and verve.
This was the most expensive student film.
It really does feel like that. It's just like all that drive and passion and kind of like almost like lack of discipline, and it's very messy.
The film is alive.
It's punk.
The
It's raw.
It is.
It definitely shows that the creators had a vision, and by God, they were going to go for it.
It's a very punk kind of movie in that way, where it's like, it just sort of does
Nipple pink.
Yeah, it's like, it does not care. It just kind of wants to thrash and rock out and be zany, and
that's a very good way to like put it, because it's like it is what someone's vision was.
Yeah, I just don't know whose that vision
I think
was.
I think the director or producer was like, guys, I know some musicians. We're gonna make a movie.
That's kind of what it felt like. It felt like someone said, "All right, I know how to get a hold of a lot of cool rock stars. Let's just make a fucking movie and just go nuts with it." And that's exactly what they did. And all the traditional things that you're supposed to assemble together to make a traditional movie, it doesn't really have any of that. That's why you have, like, Omar is not really a likable protagonist, and Dizzy is way more interesting or enjoyable as a character, and just Mock is just mincing and scenery chewing in this bizarre way, and there's it doesn't really push a character arc.
And Perfect Cindy.
Yeah, and Perfect Cindy, and and it felt like every little piece of this movie was made by somebody just sort of giving it their all and not really caring about appeasing kind of a big corporate brain trust or anything. Like you can
totally agree.
You can
I agree.
You can watch a contemporary Disney movie or a contemporary Pixar movie and just feel all the polish and feel all the, there was a team of execs at the top that was.
It's like if Elsa punched somebody in the face.
Yeah,
I'm not doing this.
Yeah, and then they rocked out.
You can watch a contemporary Disney or a Pixar movie, and you can feel like there's a team of execs at the top who signed off on everything. This, it feels like left and right hands were not paying attention to each other. Left and right hands just wanted to do what they did and just went nuts with it. Someone went nuts with how they were animating Mock. Someone went nuts with buying
this
cow
movie's
guts.
Against the establishment, man.
It is.
Someone ate some nuts.
This is the Bernie Sanders of animated movies.
Mike, what do you think?
That's amazing.
There's really not much else I could say. I mean, I was confused. This is the third time I've seen this movie.
2 more times and you'll get it.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. But I mean, I think the animation's great. It's the overall design is great. I think it's just confusing. It's a very confusing movie.
Yeah,
it's hard for me to follow. It's like, and the thing is,
it's a thin movie, but it's oddly exhausting.
It is exhausting because
it's also kind of exhausting because a lot of us were watching it.
There's really no flow. It's very disjointed.
It's like I would suggest watching this with friends because of the fact that it's like it makes it a little bit more enjoyable. If you watched on your own, you would kind of get a little bit sleepy.
Be sure to do some angel dust before you watch this movie.
Or magic coke.
What we're suggesting is do drugs before.
Smoke a very skinny blunt.
A splunt.
That's blue.
A spleef.
A spleef.
A splim.
A smurf.
A blimp.
Be sure to kill a smurf, flatten it, and roll
and watch
it up.
your favorite Uncle Mikey episode before you. Yeah.
That's what Gargamel wanted to do. He wanted the Smurfs to grind him up into his
skinny joints.
He wanted everything.
All right.
As do we all.
Yeah. So around the board, I mean, I guess
I give it a 4 out of 5.
Is that the problem with this movie? It wanted everything.
It wanted everything.
It did want everything.
It wanted everything. So with that is our consensus about Rock and Rule. I want to suggest, I will suggest watching it just because it is something to behold.
Like a lobster, huge and red.
Well put. With that,
Do it!
With that, I'm going to direct you guys to the Animated Anarchy Facebook page, which is facebook.com/animatedanarchycast. That is the best way to get a hold of us. If you want, please give us a like, and also you can find us on iTunes and Stitcher, and please give us a favorable review.
Are you guys still on Podbean?
Yes, we're still on Podbean. It's like, do you work for them?
No.
Here's your money. But yeah, please
Gotta
give us...
get my beans.
Please give us a favorable review on that. And with that also said, I want to leave it down to you guys if you would like to...
plug anything.
Thank you, Mike.
Well put.
I know you've woken up just to say that.
Yeah.
I'd like to quick shout out to pizzadaycomics.com. Updates every Friday. Zoe Moss, Jacob Strix, collaboration, comedy, laughs. Check it out.
Every Friday.
Woo! Yeah.
Just like this movie. What does that mean?
Aaron, is there anything else?
I would like to highly recommend anybody listening to this to check out a website called www.wikipedia.org. WIKIPEDIA.
I'm looking at this website right now. It's fascinating.
It's really neat.
Your dollars
very,
can make
very
a difference.
good.
Yeah,
How many writers do you have on this amazing website?
I have no idea how many writers they have. I'm not affiliated with it at all.
So go to WikiLeaks.com.
we are starving for sponsors.
www.infowars.com. The truth is out there, folks. It's
Yeah.
No, if anyone has any interest at all in hearing my musings on Twitter, I'm on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
I have an account on that. It's www.twitter.com/. TWITTER.com.
TIGGER.
How often do you talk about the Nigga
You're at.
Oh, I'm at Aaron. I'm currently at Aaron Waxing, AARONWAXING.
Awesome. And you guys are on Twitter as well. Why don't you plug ahead your Twitter accounts?
Jake Strick, like it sounds. That's Trick with an S in front.
I think I'm Zoe Moss Art, so ZOEMOSSART, which is also my Instagram. And also you can find me on Tumblr at Brain Farto. So that's Brain Farto.
And don't forget about Pizza Day Comics.
Don't you dare forget.
And
so funny.
Write it down, like etch it into your hand.
And
you see that knife? Yeah.
I like to also refer anybody listening to another website, Google.com.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna turn off your mic for a minute. Hang on, Mike, wake up.
I'm here. I'm sorry. We recorded this late at night.
Yeah,
right?
it
Wait,
is
what time
very
is
late.
it?
It's pretty late. It's almost midnight right now.
I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin.
I'm already a pumpkin.
It's just like
Roll
Mommy
me
said.
home. Back to the pumpkin man.
And I'm an eggplant. So you're
I'm on at a guy who draws on Twitter.
Yep,
and I have a Tumblr.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna even mention.
What did the pumpkin with the sword say?
I'm gored. PizzaDayComics.com.
So that was Animated Anarchy, folks. Thank you for no.
Wait a minute. So I am of course at AWD Twit. On Twitter, and thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys coming by.
Thank you for having us.
And it was a lot of fun, like watching rock and roll. We'd love to have you on the show again sometime.
We would love to be on the show again.
Can we watch Rock and Roll again?
Can we? Wait.
The encore rock and roll.
I think there's
Could we
more to be
watch
said
another-
about rock and roll.
Oh yes. Remember what I said. You gotta watch it 5 times.
On the
to
next
understand
episode of Animated Anarchy, we
Rock
are
and
going to
roll
do
again.
Rock and Roll Part 2.
it. Accompanied by
Rockadoodle.
Rockadoodle.
Yeah.
Anywhere with rock in it.
Roll back the rock of time.
No.
All right.
I feel like somebody
all right.
punched me.
Let no bad happen.
I'd like to suggest the next film, Grizzly Man.
I love
Good night,
that
everybody.
cartoon.
Brother
That
Bear
had
next
an
to you.
animated bear in it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Yes, Zoe Moss, Jacob Strick, Aaron Warner.
The Warner Brothers.
Stevenson.
Yes, Steve.
Aaron Lewis Stevenson.
Adlai Stevenson.
Mike Ruocco. I'm
me.
Andrew Dickman. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you at we will hear you, or you will hear us on the next episode.
I can't see.
Smell you later. I'm blind.
I can't feel my face when I'm with you.
All right.
Said love
Thank you so
through.
much for listening to Animated Anarchy. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Holy shit.